This is a story behind 501 Sessions Volume 2. Similar to Volume 1, I wanted Volume 2 to have a common theme, but it wasn't as clear to me why these two songs fit together so well. Like, I knew these two were meant to share in the same volume, but I couldn't really put my finger on why at first. I wrote them about two very different relationships and two very different experiences, and I couldn't really put my finger on what it was that they shared. And the reason I think that I couldn't quite put my finger on it is that it's something that bleeds into other areas of my life. The two songs featured on Volume 2 of the 501 Sessions are Puppet Show.
I've been chasing back the time, asking myself why I've been running around.
And Michigan Avenue.
Oh, I could never be what you wanted.
And the one thing that falls very much in line with both of these songs is that they are about overthinking, but overthinking specifically in the realm of relationships. Puppet Show was written at a time during long distance for me, and it was very much kind of like a overly observed period of analyzing every piece of conversation, every interaction, not really leaving any room to allow for things to be different. Now, granted, you go from being in the same town to being in different time zones, things naturally are bound to change, and the dynamic overall is meant to and just naturally will be different. And instead of leaving room for understanding of any change or any difference, I instantly went into doomsday mode of, are things this way because things have changed and changed in a bad way? Like, are all of these smaller interactions and shorter conversations stemming from a lack of feeling? Like, are all of these things signs that things aren't going the way that I thought they were? Now, spoiler alert, I married the guy. So definitely overthought my way through that one. But it is very easy when the only perspective you have on a situation is your own and things change. Like, it's very easy to fall into that, what did I do? What's wrong? Why are things different? Like, you don't naturally assume the output to change when the input does. It doesn't sound like it makes any sense. And you should assume if you change what you're putting in, changing the circumstances, you should expect to get a different output. But we just assume that things won't change, even though change is the only constant that we ever really know. And on the flip side, with Michigan Avenue, that song was very much, I overthought myself out of a relationship. It's very easy to underrepresent your own self-worth in your own mind. It's very easy when you see someone in such a positive light that you don't feel like you're worthy of that. And while there's always room for other reasons as to why you feel that particular kind of way, again, only knowing your own perspective on the situation truly allows for you to craft this narrative that you really don't belong where you are. You don't belong in that situation. You aren't worthy of that situation. I think there are things that aren't meant for us, and I think that those things, being that they aren't meant for us or we don't fit for them, often translates in our heads to we're not good enough for it. I think it's much more often that we look at things and don't feel worthy enough than look at things and feel too worthy for. It's how we end up in toxic relationships and stick in jobs that we really are too good for, and just allow ourselves to stay in these spaces that aren't serving us in the way that they should. And not to say that they never did, but just aren't meant for us anymore. And so we overthink our ways, going from, this doesn't really align with me and my life anymore, to, I don't think that I'm good enough for this thing. And so we dig ourselves into holes and just let the overthinking take over. And like I said, while those songs are about two very different situations and two different perspectives, I think that they're both a common message of taking our own perception and twisting it by thinking and thinking and thinking about it. It's very easy, especially when left to your own demise, to overthink yourself through a situation. Boiling it down, that's what these songs are about. If there's one thing I had to say about this volume of the 501 Sessions, it would be that change is an important part of life, and it happens for good reasons and bad reasons, but the outcome always seems to fall where it's supposed to, even if our perception of it doesn't appear that way. And I think unsettled or unworthy feelings don't necessarily mean you're not good enough. It just means that it's not for you anymore. So if you haven't already, check out Puppet Show and Michigan Avenue from Volume 2 of the 501 Sessions.